Well, chaps, a couple of days until we fly out to Australia. Testing is over. Toto, I guess we start with you. Looking back over those 8 days, where does the team find itself? How optimistic are you?
It's pretty dangerous to be optimistic after testing because we don't know a lot. The drivers have a good feeling with the car. That is a good starting point, and it seems like we have eliminated some of the personality traits of the car from last year, but you don't really know where the competition is. The fuel loads are unknown to us, the engine modes are unknown. If you think that 10 kilograms of fuel make 3 or 4 tenths of difference, it could be pretty different than testing looked.
And Valtteri, for you, coming into your second year with the team, has it been different testing this year than last?
Definitely different, for sure from my point of view, being already, really into the team and part of the team, knowing everyone, knowing how the team works in testing and is going to work in the first race. Knowing Lewis, knowing everyone in the team, it makes a difference. And also, I think also for us as a team, we had better testing in that way. That I think last year we had some difficulties in testing with the new car to understand it really properly. And when we went to Melbourne, there were certain things we kind of had to estimate and guess.
And Lewis, in testing, as the guys have said, we don't know what anyone else is doing. You don't know what they're running on their car. Best thing we can do from the outside is look at you guys, look at your body language, and you had a big smile on your face.
My body language is probably not good right now.
You look cold.
It is freezing in this room. It is so cold.
It's fine.
He's got the race suit on.
And he's finished.
I'm actually shaking a little bit. So,
it's like the first week of testing with the snow.
No, it was. Well, it was an interesting test because obviously we had the first week where we had snow and one part of the track was dry and then one part of the track was wet. The tires were working and they weren't working. And then the second week, obviously, we got a lot of running. But what was really encouraging to take from it was the reliability. There was one day we, I think, did 201 laps between us, which I don't think's ever been done in a test. And it was just a real great showing of the teamwork, how the team was functioning. They were ready.
The car looked bulletproof throughout, certainly the second week of testing. Is that a worry? I mean, everyone would look at it and go, car's bulletproof, that's great, you're taking a bulletproof car to Australia, but testing's a time when you can get over those issues if they strike then. Is there a fear that you get to Australia and something comes up that you didn't find in testing?
I don't personally have that mentality. I think in my competition, you can't, from my mentality, I can't afford that kind of mindset. Yeah. That's Toto's job to take that stress and to have that, and for sure he will have that stress. And I tried to break it. I don't know if I told them on the radio afterwards, I tried to do my best to break it, but it wasn't working at the time. Because that's our job. Our job is to push it to the limit and try to find those cracks if there are any. But I mean, the team has just done fundamentally an exceptional job. But there will be things that come along the way. But what I can tell you is we're the best prepared to be able to react to whatever those are.
You need to be careful because I don't know how you call it in English when then the last test before you go on stage in the theater went pretty well.
Dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal. The last dress rehearsal was great, and the premiere is not as good. So we are a lot of skeptical people that don't believe that it's ever going to be easy.
How integral, Toto, is Petronas to this team and what you've been able to do from the power unit perspective and to your championship successes over these recent years?
Petronas's hubs here in Turin and in Kuala Lumpur have been huge contributors to our performance, and opening such a great laboratory and testing facilities, good news for us.
And I heard a crazy statistic that the advances that have been made from an engine perspective, 20% of that's actually down to the fuels and the lubricants that these guys provide.
Before we used to have 3 or 4 engines a weekend. Now there's 21 races that 3 engines have to do. Reliability is everything, and people perhaps it's difficult for people to realize just how much work's going into the research. This for me is a huge confidence boost, knowing that Petronas are really putting even more effort into moving forward their technology.
Yeah, it's the whole team. It's every single person in this team plus our partners.
So we're going.
And we have to finish every single lap of every single race for 21 races. Can't miss one.
That's the objective.
That's the objective. Yeah. Reliability is crucial in getting those points.
And with that in mind, off to Australia. I won't ask you about what you think of your chances. We've covered that slightly, and you can never tell. Who looks good? You guys have been out on track. You've seen the other cars. Who looks good on track for you?
It's a given that it's going to be Red Bull or Ferrari, because that's just they are the top teams last year, and they're going to be the top teams this year with us. But
Do you think there's going to be a surprise from anybody in the field?
Haas.
Yeah?
They
think
looked, in our statistical data, they looked pretty quick. But then again, you know, somebody's 20 kilograms lighter, it's 8/10 difference. But I would very much hope that they are there. They deserve it. Gene has taken some risks, and he's a true entrepreneur. And then obviously, crazy Günther is giving it his whole power, and he's a good operator. He knows what he does, so they would deserve it.
Does it get harder coming into every season, having had the success that you've had, having had all the championships and the victories? Does it get harder to keep on achieving at that level when you get there? And say, you know, what's a good result for you? If you're coming off the basis that what you're used to is victories, does it get harder to keep achieving that?
I personally don't think you can ever get used to victories. So if you do get used to victories, then you are being complacent. And I don't think that's our philosophy. That's not what we work towards. We should see how much energy there is in the team. You should see how hard everyone's working. They could easily be like, hey, we won 4 championships. We just, I'll finish half an hour early today and I'll go home. We're going to win. But that's not the mentality. The guys are staying till midnight at the factory there. Toto was saying that, or someone at the factory, James was saying the other day, that they arrived back from test on Friday. Saturday, the whole car park was full. Everyone's there. They're just gunning. They're so excited. And that's hugely encouraging and inspiring for me. That means, like, hey, I want to get up and make sure I'm ready for this race.
We definitely want more. You know.
And I think the world would want to know, if Mercedes turns up in Australia with the best car, that these guys are going to have a fair chance to race each other and fight it out for a world championship.
You're always asking the difficult questions, but it is of course the case, like we've done it always in the past. I think they are racing drivers. Both of them deserve to go flat out and try to win the race and give it their all. This is what matters the most for a driver.
Superb. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time, and travel safely, and we'll see you in Melbourne.
You too.
Cheers,
Let's go. It's cold.